Welcome, everybody, to episode 26 of the We Don't Know Jack podcast. I am your host, Jack. Got Ben here today.
Howdy.
Emily's here.
Hello.
Got the whole crew here. We have a massive guest today. We're really excited for this one. This is one of the top guests I ever wanted on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Rizzuto Show. We got Rizz here today. How you doing, Rizz?
Great. Massive guest, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's not a weight thing, right?
Well,
I am trying to, honestly, like a weight thing. I am kind of
No, it's not a weight thing.
How could you, Jack?
No, you were one of the biggest guests we could have gotten on here that we knew we could get one day, and it was you. And when we met you a couple weeks ago and you said you were interested, it was the coolest thing for us. So.
Oh, so you see what you said there? That was like a little dig. Like you were the biggest guest that we can actually get.
Well, I mean, you're local. You know what I mean. But
yeah. No, I saw you guys up at the Hot Shots, and I was like, yeah, man, I would love to do your podcast.
That's awesome. We're so thankful for you being here today. Me and Emily, we've both been listening to you for years.
Yeah.
I've been listening since it was when you were with Woody, and that was 12 years ago.
That was 2009. I started that.
Wow. Yeah, and we were
2009 to 2014, and then the Rizzuto Show from 2014 to now.
Wow, you guys have been on almost over 10 years. That's crazy.
I've been in St. Louis since 2003.
Really?
Yeah.
You're from New York or New Jersey?
Yeah, New York City originally.
How'd you end up here in St. Louis?
Work, my friend, work. You know, like when you're a radio DJ or radio personality, you kind of go where the work sends you.
Okay.
Growing up in New York City, you're kind of at a disadvantage. You don't pick up a bat and you don't play for the Cardinals right away, right? So you got to go to the minors. So growing up in the number one radio market in the world, you don't start there. You have to go other places to kind of hone your craft. And that was the disadvantage for me, was growing up in New York City. I had to go other places to kind of hone my craft, and wound up in St. Louis.
Is St. Louis the only market you worked in?
No, actually, I did work in New York a little bit. I worked at the Jersey Shore, which was, the Jersey Show TV show?
Yeah.
I love it.
I knew you were going to say that.
I watch it nonstop.
It's really that trashy up there?
Yeah.
Is it worse than the show makes it seem?
I did radio like two years at the Jersey Shore, and it really is like short orange Italian people running around just trying to hump each other.
You know what? That checks out.
That sounds like
wild.
Interesting time up there.
It was, and I was in my early 20s, and it was fun. Looking back, you're like, oh man, that was fun. And then I worked for satellite radio for 2 years.
Okay. So how old? Sorry, what was that?
I worked for Sirius satellite before they merged with XM.
Okay.
So this was back in 2002. And that was a cool job. That was fun. Nobody was listening to it at that point. They had just put the satellites in the air, and I remember getting a job there, and it was like a whole brand new thing, and everybody on regular radio was like, it's killing the industry, and it was fine.
You were at Woodstock 99, correct?
Yeah.
What was that like? I've seen the documentary. I don't know if you guys have seen. Have you seen the Netflix and the HBO one?
Yeah.
Was it as wild as the documentary makes it seem?
Well, from where I was, so I was sent up there. I was working for a radio station in New York City called K-Rock, and I was sent up there with 3 other DJs to broadcast from Woodstock, and it was maybe 5 hours north of New York City, up in upstate New York. So we drove up there. We got a rental car, and it was on an old Air Force base, a decommissioned Air Force base. So we got up there the Thursday. So the show was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got up there Thursday. It was hot, man. It was that was a hot weekend. Hot. And everything was fine at first. I mean, we stayed in the Army barracks. We had pretty good accommodations. I didn't know what was going on the field. I knew there were camping sites and stuff like that. But they took care of us. Like, we had all the food we wanted. We had air conditioning. We were fine.
That sounds great.
Friday rolls around, man. Everybody's having a good time. It was, I remember Bush played that night, and I remember Rage Against the Machine played that night. I think Korn played that night too. It was great. And there was a big rave in one of these airport hangars. Everybody's having a good time. And chicks are topless, and everybody's having a good time. I'm like, yes, all right, this is awesome. It's going to be a great weekend. Saturday rolls around. Saturday was extremely hot, like hotter than Friday. Jeez. And I was walking around the site, and you ever walk on blacktop when it's very hot out and it radiates the heat?
Yeah.
So on either side of the airstrip was the east stage and the west stage. So you had to walk on the airstrip to get to either stage. And it was, that tarmac, that airstrip was radiating the heat. And if it was 90 degrees out, it felt like it was 900 degrees out.
Jeez.
And they were selling waters for like $5 each, and everything was starting to get dirty, and everybody was angry. And the music back in 1999 was pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Your Horns and your Limp Bizkits and your Kid Rocks and your Seven Dusks, and everybody was dirty and hot and hungry and sweaty and thirsty. And you kind of tell things were gonna. It was a powder keg. You could kind of tell the campsites were by that time gross. People started tipping over the porta potties and swimming. And
why? Why would anybody? How many drugs you have to do to think swimming in a porta potty is a good idea?
I don't know, a lot.
Yeah, that's insane.
It started to get gross. And who closed that night? Was it Metallica played that night? I forgot who played that night. Saturday night was pretty uneventful. So then it came Sunday. Sunday, we broadcast all day. We'd walked around a little bit. Again, things that it was hot. People were even more dirty than they were on Saturday. We had gotten done with our broadcast, and finally, we had a chance to watch the last act of the night, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They were closing out Woodstock Sunday night. It was a nice night, still a little hot. So they had the bright idea, idiots, of handing out candles to everybody. They handed out candles to 300,000 angry kids.
Oh, that's smart.
It's a genius move.
We were standing in the back. The Chili Peppers were on. I remember Flea was playing naked, completely naked. We're standing in the back, and I'm standing with the other DJs, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing these little fires kind of pop up all over the place. I'm like, oh, there's a fire down there. There's a fire down there. Behind us, there's a fire. Oh, and there's also people jumping on the giant tents that were selling the merchandise and selling food. So these big giant army tents, and people were on top just jumping up and down. Then the tent started to collapse. And now people are starting to shake the towers that have the speakers on them.
Jeez.
And then the little fires turned into giant fires. And now there were like 5 or 6 giant fires all around us. The Chili Peppers are still playing. I think they made them stop at one point to tell them, like, hey, you got to calm everybody down. And I think in response to that, the Chili Peppers played a cover of Jimi Hendrix's Fire, which didn't...
Of course, right? That's fitting.
Which didn't help the situation. And I turned to one of the other guys, one of the DJs, and I go, hey, man, I think we should probably get out of here. Like, we should probably go back to the barracks. So we start making our way back to where we're staying. And as we're walking, and we had these backstage passes around our necks, the lanyards. And as we're walking back, people start grabbing and started trying to pull them off our necks.
Jesus.
And it was getting to the point where it was like, damn, dude, this is a scary situation. So they're trying to grip our passes off our necks. And now we start running. And it is turning into behind us, like a nightmare. Like it turned into like a full scale, anarchy. So we finally make it back to where we got to go. We get past security. Literally 4 minutes after we got past security, they shut the entire place down. They shut the entire backstage area down. The National Guard moved in, and we went back to our barracks. We really didn't know what was going on out in the field and stuff like that until the next morning. Where we got up the next morning, we walked. By that time, they'd cleared everybody out. We walked onto the airstrip, and it was like a scene out of the movie Apocalypse Now, where it's early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. There's fog on the ground. Things are still smoldering. and it was just everything was just destroyed.
That is insane.
The radio station that I worked for had borrowed a truck that looked like a radio boombox and put it in the middle of the field to advertise the radio station. That thing, somebody threw a cinder block through the windshield, lit it on fire. That was gone. That was a fun call to the boss. Like, hey, remember that thing we borrowed from that other radio station? Yeah, that's gone. We're going to have to probably flatbed that thing out of here.
Jesus. That's insane.
Well, and we didn't really know the scope of it until we got back because we didn't have, there was no phones with internet on them.
Right.
We had our flip phones, if we even had those. I don't even remember back in '99. But we didn't know the scope of it until we got back to New York City on Monday afternoon, and everybody's like, "You guys okay?" We're like, "Yeah, we're cool." And then you start seeing in the newspapers about chaos at Woodstock '99, and was it Limp Bizkit's fault? That was the big takeaway of that. Remember that documentary?
Yeah, they tried to blame Fred for everything.
It was a lot more than that.
Yeah, it was a mixture of everything. What you just talked about, everybody being angry,
price gouging. It was everybody's young and angsty and aggressive music, and when you're charging $5 for a water and it's 4,000 degrees out, people are gonna get pissed.
Yeah, I get mad when I have to pay $5 for water in general.
Yeah,
I'm mad now. They make us pay for cups upstairs in the dining hall.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You make them pay for cups?
Yeah. You have to. They used to just have a stack of cups you could just take to get water or soda or whatever. Now, and you have to pay a ton of money to go to school here. Now you have to.
It's
get
like
a meal.
$2.
It's like, and if you don't I didn't have a meal plan until this year.
Right.
I would have to order a drink and the food, and it would be like $7 instead of $5. You used to pay $2.
What is it, like a cup deposit?
What?
Is it like a cup deposit?
I don't know.
Or paying straight up for a cup? They get you.
They used to just,
as if you don't pay up for college,
right? We can't have cups. Like that's such a minor thing. And now they put signs up: "Don't fill up your own drinks," so you can't even fill up your own water bottles.
I mean, you can.
They don't trust you.
Who's gonna stop you?
They don't trust you.
No, they don't. They don't trust us here at all.
No.
They let us use this nice equipment, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Right. So so this is all part of the radio station.
So we have 3 stations down here. We have Case 89.1 KCLC. That's our main one, and then we have an HD2 station and an HD3. And the HD3 is just starting to be student run. Me and Emily both do a show on there.
Yeah.
I do one called Rockin' Wrestling, where we talk about pro wrestling and music. And then she does. What do you do?
I do Headbanger 7, which is metal.
Nice. So do you get to play your own stuff, whatever you want?
We do
Yeah.
on that one. KCLC, I don't. I'm on KCLC, and I don't get to pick over there.
Back in 1996, I did 2 semesters of college. I had a radio station my first semester. I had a radio show at the local college station. It was great. I loved it. I would just bring up stacks of CDs and for 4 hours on Friday nights, just play what I wanted to play. It was awesome.
When you get to pick the music, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, and I remember saying to myself, "Man, this is the best guy." I was with my buddy. I was like, "This is the best. I want to do this for the rest of my life, and I'm never going to sell out." And then you realize you got bills to pay.
And now you got your own show and your name on the wall and everything. You get the number one show in St. Louis.
I started as a music jock. I actually do miss doing that. I love playing music. That's why I got into radio. It's because I loved music so much that I wanted to have a career talking about it.
You talk about music sometimes still. Not a ton, but it's...
I love talking about music. If you want to talk about music, I'm an aficionado when it comes to classic rock and night. I love music. That's how I just was in my room listening to music all the time.
Weirdly enough, I've never been a big music. I listen to music occasionally, but like in the car, and I drive a lot. I'm always podcast. It's usually your show or it's Chris Jericho's podcast. But yeah, I've been more of a podcast guy, so talking is my thing. I love to talk about anything.
I had a boombox for one Christmas. My parents got me a 2-speaker boombox, dual cassette boombox, and I remember recording songs off the radio and getting cassette tapes. When I saved up enough money, or there was a service called Columbia House. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but
I have.
Get 20 CDs for a penny.
My grandpa was big on it.
And I got 20 CDs for a penny, and You wind up going on some kind of subscription service, and you tell them, I'm like 12 years old, so you can't hold me to pay for anything.
Would you sign up your mom and your sister and your brother and everybody else you knew too?
Yeah. And when they send collections, you go, I'm 12. You go ahead. Take what you want.
That's awesome. So how did you started as a disc jockey, you said, how did you end up with your own show and it being the number one show in St. Louis for 8 or 9 years, 10 years now?
10 years now.
You've been number one for 10 years?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's wild.
There's some good morning shows in St. Louis too.
I never would have thought it.
Because you're going up against You-Man and
against Courtney and
Randy.
Aishi and Randy, and I have a lot of respect for all the morning show, people that do shows here in this market. But I still when I got here to St. Louis, I started doing the night shift, which was 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., which was awesome.
That sounds pretty great.
6 to 10 was great. I was 2003, so I was 23, 24 years old. At 24 years old, didn't have any kids. My girlfriend came from New York here with me. We're married now. We lived in the Central West End. I used to take the Metrolink down to Union Station.
It's not far from each other, is it? Central West End, Union Station?
No, it was like a couple stops away. And I was like, man, this Metrolink thing is awesome. It's clean and it's safe. And at the time,
I don't know about safe anymore, but
at the time, listen, it was just 2003. At the time, it was. And I was also fearless, and coming from from New York City, it was like, wow, this is great. I could throw my food on the floor. It's so clean. I could eat, off the floor here. So I'd take the Metrolink down. My wife would come pick me up at 10 o'clock at night because the Metrolink didn't run that late. And we'd go out. We'd go to concerts, 3 times a week. Because my schedule was good. And I would sleep till like noon, 1 o'clock, head over to the radio station, be there around 4, have enough time to prep for the show. It was, man, good times.
That sounds that's a great shift. 6 to 10. I'm kind of a night person, so that sounds like the dream right there.
Well, in New York City, I was doing overnights.
That is not the dream.
Which was 2 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Jesus. People, did you have listeners at 2 a.m.?
Oh, it's New York City, man. There's 18 million people there. Yeah.
People are up.
You'd be surprised how many people did listen. But the cool thing was, when I was doing overnights, I got to say, up next, Howard Stern.
That is cool.
And Howard Stern was actually there and up like next.
That is awesome.
Like, so he had his own studio, and it was next to the on-air studio of ours. So see, up next, Howard Stern, and he was there.
This is like prime Howard Stern too.
This was 98, 99. This was, it would do. You want to talk about wild? It'd be one day you'd see 50 strippers, a guy named Beetlejuice, a guy named High Pitch Eric downstairs, and then you'd see Paul McCartney.
What?
Like the next day.
Beetlejuice.
That is wild.
Crazy.
That sounds like Howard Stern though. I'd expect nothing less from him.
Yeah, they used to send me out with Stuttering John to go pick up homeless people for a game called Homeless Jeopardy. Hey, you got to go with Stuttering John, get the van, and go to the subways and pick up homeless people.
I found a new game.
Put them in the van and bring them to the studio.
I don't trust
how I wasn't murdered. How I was not murdered is beyond me.
That was a real thing, Homeless Jeopardy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's insane.
That was a real thing.
That's crazy.
So I start, and I was like, I wanted a life, 10 p.m. to, or, 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's a tough shift.
Yeah.
That's a tough shift to have a social life. Because when everybody's going to sleep, you're like, I got to go to work.
Yeah, that is hard.
Now, mind you, I wasn't digging ditches and going on roofs and, shingling things. And, I wouldn't say it was the hardest job in the world. But compared to everybody, compared to everybody else's schedule, you're off.
Yeah.
You're off. So I'm like, I need a real life. So when I started doing nights, I was like, man, this is great. And then from nights, I did middays. So middays, they moved me to middays, which was 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., which was another sweet schedule.
That does sound pretty great.
I could still go out late and not have to bust my ass going, getting up early. Still playing music. And at that point I was the music director of the Point. So I was making the playlists for all the other jocks and taking record meetings and listening to music and stuff like that. So a little more responsibility when it came to doing middays. But, so then I did that to 2009. And then my buddy Woody, who had worked at the Point, who then went to San Francisco. Well, he first went to Chicago, then to San Francisco. He got fired in San Francisco, and he wanted to come back to the Point and do mornings. So my boss says, "Hey, do you want to do the morning show with Woody?" And I go, mornings. Like, my wife was pregnant at the time with my first son, and I go, all right, I'll give it a shot. I'd never done mornings before. I'd never done a talk show. So started doing mornings as kind of the second chair with Woody. And in 2014, he decided he wanted to go out to California. He wanted to take the show out to California, and I didn't want to go.
Can't blame you on that one.
He's like, well, we have an opportunity out in California. I'm like, this is the farthest west I'm going. I'm like, I like St. Louis. By that time I had, my son was 5 years old. My daughter was just born. I got nice things here. I'm like, I don't want to go out to California where you gotta, where everything's 40% more expensive.
Jesus.
Out in California.
I never heard that number. That's insane.
Too much traffic, too much BS out there. That's not for me.
Parking's awful.
Parking's awful. It takes you like 3 hours to get 5 miles. That's not, I don't want that.
3 hours. No chance I'm ever living in California.
No. So my K buddy, no hard feelings, but you're on your own. And, we broke apart the show that way. He's wildly successful. And we talk all the time. He's still, one of my best friends. He's on like 40 different radio stations around the country.
I think you can still get him in St. Louis, can't you?
No, not anymore. They tried to put him on against me.
Didn't go good for him?
No, it did not go well for him.
You guys have very similar shows.
Yeah, of course. Well, we kind of come from the same same thing. We kind of developed all this stuff together. And he'd been doing mornings for way longer than I did. And, he kind of taught me how to put together a show and the style. And then when I started doing it myself, and getting success, iHeartRadio, which is who he works for, was like, oh, we're going to flip a radio station. And because Rizz is doing so well, we're going to flip a radio station. We're going to put Woody up against him to cut his numbers down. And it did not work.
You guys do have ridiculously loyal listeners.
Oh yeah, we've cultivated this whole thing. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's, people show up to your house.
That's happened?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. I know you live near, I'm a Eureka guy. I live in Eureka.
Oh, you're down the road.
Yeah. I went to high school with Burton's daughter.
Oh yeah. So you're really down the road.
Yeah.
Just down the road.
Yeah.
As you can see behind me, I got woods, which is great.
That is great. Yeah. Yeah. Burton lived a couple streets over from my grandma.
Yeah. You're right up 109.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
down by the baseball fields.
Yeah. I've had people show up to the house before.
That's scary.
Yeah. It's, my wife's like, what have you done? people, I'm part of people's lives every morning. I'm part of people's routine.
I mean, I've been listening since I was 7.
That's crazy.
I've been listening a long time.
I'm 46 years old now.
You're 46?
I'm 46 years old.
I thought you were younger than that.
No.
Are you and Rafe the same age? Or is he older?
Me and Rafe were born in 1978. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're about the same age as my parents, so not to make you feel old or anything. I have young parents, don't worry.
Man, it's crazy. It's like my son's in high school. My daughter's in 13 in middle school. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. Trying to navigate and having teenagers in the house and trying to juggle my schedule. That's the one thing is like I was offered to do afternoons. Like, hey, if you want to move to afternoons, you can do afternoons. And I always I thought about it, and I remember when I was growing up, my dad worked till 6 o'clock at night, and he'd get home at 7, and I'd see him for like an hour and a half, 2 hours before I had to go to bed. Now I get home around noon, and like it or not, for my kids, I'm home when they get home. Nobody wants to be there in the morning. I miss all like the getting up, getting ready for school stuff. I don't need to be here for that. That's always yelling. That's always yelling. Nobody wants to be. I'm here for the cool part when like the kids get home and everybody's happy.
To be the fun dad.
I try to be. Like my son's got a hockey game tonight, which I'm contemplating. So his hockey game starts at 8:40.
That is brutal.
All right, 8:40. Now, here's the deal. Do I go for a period or two? Because I got to be in bed by 9:30.
Oh.
I got to hard out at 9:30. I had to be in bed because my alarm clock goes off at 2:30.
Yeah, I noticed that you responded to my email at 2:45 this morning.
Yeah, that's what time I was leaving my house.
That is crazy. I was just going to bed.
I was leaving my 2:45. I was already dressed downstairs, putting my breakfast into my little sack so I could take and eat at my desk. And yeah, I got to be in bed by 9:30. So do I go to the game tonight? It's my son. Now he's playing varsity hockey, and it's a second game. And they're playing Parkway West tonight. And I enjoy going to the games, and I don't want to miss it. And I want to be the dad that's there. But man, I'm tired.
That does sound rough. Getting up at 2:45, and I mean that's like what 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night.
5 hours of if I fall asleep in time.
That's right. Yeah, I can't function.
I
like
cannot do that.
You've seen me. I haven't slept good since the school year started. First time living in a dorm. I'm last year at college, but first time living in a dorm. I have not slept good at all.
Are you enjoying it?
The food's making me sick, but yeah, for the most part.
Your stomach will adjust.
I have severe stomach problems.
Your stomach will adjust to it.
It's finally getting
Stop
better.
Eating garbage. Then.
What?
Stop eating like garbage.
That's about all we have up here. The dining halls are not great here.
You just got to know what to pick, Jack.
I've been eating sandwiches, and that's been good. But like Pizza Hut makes me sick. Chick-fil-A makes me sick.
Of course it does. It's garbage.
Yeah, that's true. I did really good this summer. I ate like no fast food. I lost like 25 pounds, and I feel like I put it all back on since I've been here.
Yeah, what the freshman 15?
Yeah, but I'm a senior.
The senior 15.
Well, you are. This is.
I used to tell.
I don't know.
I used to tell people I got the COVID-19.
The freshman 15 you got as a senior, so you're a late bloomer.
I am I was really skinny for the longest time, and then I wasn't one day.
Oh, I was too. I was. People thought I was sick.
Yeah, I had the same problem. I mean, I was 130 pounds when I graduated high school.
Yeah, people were like, man, what's wrong with you? You got some disease? I'm like, nah, man, I'm just, got a high metabolism. And then at the age of 30, that stopped.
I got me at 21.
And then I used to be able to eat when I wanted to. And
me too.
Man, sucks, but that's fine.
Yeah. So we do one thing we like to do, since we were talking about food, I think it's fitting. You're from New York, so the food is very different there, right?
Sure.
We call this segment Taste the 314.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 5 foods, and I'm going to have you blindly rank them, 1 to 5.
Okay, I love this game.
You do? Perfect. So we go back and forth on the foods we pick for this one, but we've got a pretty good list lately of what we've been doing. So we're going to start first with pork steak.
I'm going to put that. So we're talking strictly St. Louis food.
Yeah, St. Louis area food.
Okay, so I know my co-host Rafe is going to hate me for saying, but pork steak I will put at 5.
At 5?
Valid.
Are you part of the pork steak army?
Not after this.
I forgot about that when I mentioned that. I didn't even think about the pork steak army. I finally got the sticker. I've been wanting that forever. I finally got it at Hot Shots.
Yeah.
I was way too excited about a sticker. Really, I'm shocked. Why don't you like pork steak?
I don't know. Maybe I've had some good ones, but it's not something I make at home. And it's not if I see. I've had a lot of bad cooked pork. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
You haven't had my grandma's pork steaks.
Maybe I haven't.
They're fantastic.
Or maybe I have. You don't know.
I don't know. All right, the next one I got for you, and I know you're not. I've heard you talk about this before. St. Louis style pizza.
I will admit, and all my New York friends would kill me for saying this, but I've gotten used to it.
It's good.
It's pretty good.
Now, I do got to ask you, emos or Cecil Whitakers?
If I had to choose either one of those, I would say probably emos. I'm not seeking out St. Louis style pizza unless it's frozen. My son will be like, hey, dude, let's get a frozen pizza. So fine. I'm not ordering emos for dinner, but if it's around or somebody orders it, I'll eat it. I will give St. Louis style pizza. I will put that in the second ranking.
There we go. I like that. I knew I liked
Number
you.
two.
So emos is so expensive for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, somebody tried to get me, Moon tried to get me to try one of the cauliflower crusts.
Oh, why?
Because he's a hippie douchebag sometimes. And he's like, I want you to like this. I'm like, I'm never going to order this. Why would I? And he tried to trick me. And I said, something's off. And he goes, it's cauliflower crust.
You can tell immediately that it doesn't taste right.
Well, because he's like, you never tell. You can never tell. I'm like, I could tell. I'm like, just something was off.
If you're a pizza connoisseur, like I think we are, I definitely am. You're a pizza man. You're from
Hell
New York.
yeah, I am. I'm Italian and from New York.
I'm Italian too. I'm right there with you.
And I'm overweight, so.
Me too. All right, next one up for you is Ted Drew's.
Ted Drew's, the late, great Ted Drew's. When I lived in South City, we'd go there quite a bit because it was my house. I would put Ted Drew's at. I'm more like if I'm going to choose something, I'm more of a savory guy than sweet. I'll put Ted Drew's. I'll give Ted Drew's. I'll put him at number 3.
Okay, that's a fair place for him. How about toasted ravioli?
1.
That is the general consensus from everybody.
I'm pretty sure everyone has put it at number 1.
Everybody knows me enough that's been on here, has known this game enough that, like, toasted ravioli is going to be the one spot, so everybody holds out for it.
Well, I'm thinking you've got 2 more things on the list. You've got gooey butter cake and you've got toasted ravioli, unless I'm mistaken.
You're good. You got them both.
So gooey butter cake, if I eat that, it's a cavity immediately. Although my sister-in-law, who's been out here, visiting and stuff, loves it. I actually, I'll put gooey butter cake in the mail and send it to her.
It's so good.
It's great.
Do you like the cookies or the cake better?
Man.
Because we used to have 2 separate categories of some. Too many people got mad at me for this one. That I would
gooey butter cookies.
The cookies are so good.
I don't know. Give me a little square cake.
Okay.
Give me the square cake, and there's a company called Gooey Louie.
Gooey Louie. Write that down.
Okay.
For my birthday, sends me usually a basket of gooey butter cake, just different variety pack. It's so good.
That's the good thing about being famous in St. Louis is all the food comes to you. I remember listening to your episode of your birthday, and every food place in St. Louis was bringing you food. Yeah,
well, I speak highly, and I speak highly of these places. I'm a food fan. I love, talking about food. I love cooking. I'm a fan of cooking. I'm a fan of eating. We have a lot of great restaurants in this city, and there's definitely a pretty cool food scene here in St. Louis, and I think it's criminally underlooked.
I agree.
And you could find anything here. You want good Chinese food? I'll tell you where to find good Chinese food. You want good Italian food? I will tell you where to find good Italian food, and it's not on the Hill.
Really?
Although I do like the Hill, but it's that's its own.
So I don't even know if I should admit this, but I'm Italian and I've never been to the Hill.
Man, if you had a vowel at the end of your last name, I would take it away from you.
My mom's last name was Galliano.
She should be ashamed of you, of her son.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
You've never been to the Hill? Your parents? I think I'm ashamed of your parents for not taking you to the Hill.
Yeah, I mean, I might have been there when I was younger, but I can't remember going to the Hill.
If you go out for Italian food, you don't tell me you're going to the pasta house.
Not normally. I mean, not for Italian food. We go there for lasagna, but not for good Italian food.
Your mom don't make lasagna?
She does. Her lasagna is amazing. And my grandma's lasagna is amazing, and my other grandma's lasagna is amazing.
Pasta house. It is what it is. It's
the rolls are good.
my mom comes to town, twice a year. And, I remember we were somewhere and we passed the pasta house and she goes, "What is that?" And I go, "You would not like that."
It's good. I mean, it's solid.
She won't like it. She's an old school Italian woman from New York. She's
going to hate that.
And yell the entire time.
That you feel the same way about Olive Garden?
Never been.
Really?
Never been to Olive Garden.
It got really expensive. It used to be like fairly priced. Now it's ridiculously expensive.
I've never been to Olive Garden. I was telling the guys on the show that they got to. I went to the Golden Corral for the first time.
I remember that.
I'd never been there before.
We went there. We did a podcast, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago.
It was a while ago.
With my boss, actually. I work at a place called, Lance Hildebrand?
Yeah, Captain Lance.
I work with him at Game Show Battle Room.
Yeah.
In Chesterfield. And my boss from there came by. Well, he was on our show. We talked wrestling one day. But we went to Golden Corral before. Oh, I got so sick.
Food poisoning or I ate too much?
I ate too much.
Okay.
They'll vouch for this. It was a rough night.
It was an ungodly amount of food.
The food was horrible, too. I don't know why you ate so much.
It was not good. I think I had 17 cookies.
Oh, my God.
You had like 3 plates of dessert alone.
I did.
Oh, my God.
Okay, we got one more game for you. Emily's got for you. Music quiz.
Dude. I love music.
I also have a food-related question that my dad is from the East Coast, and he really wanted me to ask you this. Do you call it Taylor ham or pork roll?
Okay, so Taylor ham is a New Jersey thing.
Yes.
That is strictly New Jersey. I went to college in New Jersey for, a year. I worked in radio there for 2 years. I'm not from New Jersey, but Taylor ham is a specific New Jersey thing. So I do not call it Taylor ham.
I was very passionate about that. I didn't think that would get such a reaction.
My in-laws live in Jersey. I do not. I'm not from there.
So, Rizz, I'll let you pick here. Do you want to play Finish the Lyric or Guess the Band?
Your call, man. I'll do either one.
All right.
Either one.
We can do Guess the Band.
Guess the Band. So we're going to give you, this is Emily made this game for you. We played this with Lauren. She really liked it. She even told you about it on the air the next day. We're going to give you 2 band members.
Let me let these dogs in because they're being annoying.
Okay. Cat the dog and New Dog?
Cat dog. I know it's blurry. Cat the dog's right there and New Dog's right there.
Is that what you call her, New Dog?
It's really Maggie.
I like New Dog. I think that's the most, like, from what I've seen on the show, that is the most Rizz thing ever to call the dog New Dog. Because you call your kids the boy and the girl, and I think it's
the
hilarious.
boy and the girl. Well, you know what? I kind of started doing that because it was more of like not like I didn't want anybody knowing their names or anything. It just started a thing, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going with it.
I figured it was you didn't want to know your name.
I'm just never gonna name them.
That's a Rizz. It sounds like Rizz.
Yeah.
All right. So Emily's gonna give you 2 people in a band, not the lead singer.
2 people in the band, not the lead singer. Go.
All right.
Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic.
All right, that's Nirvana. Easy. Come on, next.
1 for 1.
Chad Smith, John Frusciante.
Chili Peppers, next.
Mike Starr, Jerry Cantrell.
Alice in Chains, next.
Matt Cameron, Kim Thale.
That's Soundgarden.
Brad Wilk, Tom Comerford.
That's Rage Against the Machine.
Stone Gossard, Mike McCready.
That's Pearl Jam. No, you could just name one, and I'm getting it.
Okay, I'm going to name one.
One.
Stephen Perkins.
Jane's Addiction or Porno for Pyros.
That's the greatest name ever for a band. Porno for Pyros. I love it. We play them on KCLC. I love the name.
Yeah, it came out of I think a wanted, like a want ad from a local newspaper in Los Angeles during the LA riots back in 1992. They've
been around for a while?
Oh, yeah. Well, Jane's Addiction broke up in 91 or 92, and Perry Farrell, the lead singer, formed a new group called Porno for Pyros in the ashes of Jane's Addiction.
I did not know that.
During the LA riots, and in fact, if you listen to Porno for Pyros' first record, a lot of it is about what he's witnessing through the riots, the Rodney King riots.
I didn't know that. I thought they were a local band for some reason.
Nope, national band.
Okay, we got 3 more. Jimmy Chamberlain.
Smash Pumpkins.
Eric Kretz.
That's Stone Temple Pilots.
Eric Wilson.
Eric Erlison.
Eric Wilson.
Sublime.
God, 10 out of 10.
In like 30 seconds. I got one right when I went through the answers.
You want to do the lyrics game too? I'll do that too. We got time.
That's all you.
Okay.
Emily. That's all you.
Ben said he wanted to read
That's
it.
all you.
I got it.
I'm chilling.
Okay, Jack's going to read it.
All right.
That went by incredibly fast.
Dude, these dogs are pains in the asses.
You got that so fast. We have.
He's gonna fly through this
All
as
right,
well.
First one. A mosquito, my blank.
My libido.
My libido. What song?
Oh, it smells like Teen Spirit. Am I supposed to name the lyric or the song?
Both.
Okay.
In my youth, I pray to keep heaven send hell away.
Black Hole Sun.
Yep. What's the next line?
Say it again. Say it again.
In my youth, I pray to keep heaven send hell away. No one sings.
No one sings like you at home. You All Alone?
Nope.
Oh, what is it?
Like you anymore.
Like You Anymore. Damn it. Okay, fine. Got the song though.
You did. 1 point. So make the best of this test and don't ask why.
That's Foo Fighters.
Nope.
No, it's not.
Not Foo Fighters. They were just here about a month ago. It was my first concert ever. About a month ago.
So make the best of this test. I got it in my head.
You know it.
I know it.
It's the most overplayed song ever.
It's not the Foo Fighters, huh?
Mm-mm.
What is it?
It's Good Riddance by Green Day. The next line was, it's not a question, but a lesson learned in time.
Right.
You're
right.
This one's a little easier. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. And never mind that noise you heard. It's just a...
Beast Under Your Bed, and that's Enter Sandman.
Got it. Last one. I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no why. I want to see you out that door.
All right, say it again.
I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I want to see you out that door. This is the one that's not in your wheelhouse. The other ones are.
Not in my wheelhouse.
Not in your wheelhouse.
It's still 90s.
It's 90s,
though.
but it's not.
It's not a rock. Is it a rock song?
I would not call this rock.
No.
One more time. Give me the one more time.
I know that I can't take no more. It ain't no lie. I want to see you out that door.
This song was big. Like recently,
This is
got
very
big.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's Bye Bye Bye.
Oh, NSYNC.
Yeah, that one I wanted to just throw in there just for fun.
Yep, you got me on that one.
Next line was
Did
Baby.
terrible.
You did pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
You did a lot better than I did, and I wrote some of the questions. I'm not.
You guys,
What?
good.
I'm not much of a music guy. I don't know much about music. She yells at me all the time.
I do.
Constantly.
I get mad.
And she couldn't believe I'd never been to a concert before last month.
What?
I'm 22 years old, and Green Day was my first concert at the amphitheater this August.
That's a problem.
Got to get you out more.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Got to get you out more.
But I went to my first one, and it was amazing.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time. That's a good first concert to tell people about.
It was. Well, technically, if we're being technical, I saw Uncle Cracker at the fair like a week before. That counts?
Does count.
All right, Uncle Cracker was my... I kind of like saying Uncle Cracker.
It's a better story. Say it's Green Day.
Okay. I'll stick with that.
Listen, you guys are awesome. I got to take off.
Thank you so much for coming on here today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. It was amazing to talk with you. Like I said, you were one of our dream guests on here, so it was an honor to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Good luck with everything, and let me know when this is going to air.
It'll be up in about 20 minutes.
Great.
I'll send you the link, and we'll post something, and I'll tag the Rizz Show account on it.
Awesome. I'll send it out as well. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Rizz.
Guys, bye.
Have a good one. How about that? We just had Scott Rizzuto on the podcast.
It's insane.
That is insane. That just happened. That was really cool.
It was so good, too.
Yeah, thank you, Rizz, for coming on. It was really special for you to do that. It meant a lot to us. That was incredible. He took the time to do that. He went way over the time, I think. We did almost an hour,
Uh-huh.
I think, didn't we? What time is it?
About
45 minutes?
Yeah, 45.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rizz, for coming on. It meant a lot to us. Like I've been saying, there's 4 people that are dream guests that are local, that are possible. And it's him, it's Greg Amsinger, it's Randy Carricker, and it's Nikki Glazer.
Yeah.
And Rizz was probably the top one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really cool that he got here. So cool that we got to talk to him today. Hopefully one day we'll get to talk to him again.
Yeah.
That was really cool. It's 2 of the 5 now, the Rizz show.
Are we trying to go for all 5?
I feel like we could.
We could.
Yeah. You guys are listening. Rafe. Well, Rafe was on. Rafe was on for about 30 seconds.
Yeah. He asked if we had money.
He did ask for money. So we've had 3. So Moon, King Scott, the Cousin Brothers.
Yeah.
We're looking for you guys. So, Rizz, thank you so much. It was a real honor to have you on here. Yeah, like Rizz said, it'll be up in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I told Rizz. We got anything else going on to talk about? We may have a special bonus episode.
Possibly Friday.
It'll be uploaded Friday.
Well, yeah,
Hopefully.
uploaded.
Hopefully.
If it happens.
If it happens.
Not sure, yeah.
We're not sure. We don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen sooner.
Yeah.
If things go a certain way. But, yeah, we don't have we don't have anything exciting coming up. We got some fun stuff. We got fun episodes coming. We might do We might do another episode this week anyway, just for fun.
For fun, yeah.
Probably not, but we might.
Maybe. Who knows?
We did go to the lake. That was a lot of fun. We'll probably talk about that next week.
We did.
I still can't hear out of my left ear.
Why not?
I jumped in a lake and got water in it. It clogged up. We still can't hear.
Jump on your foot.
When I jumped in the lake, the water went in my ear.
No, you jump on your foot and tilt the head to the side.
It didn't work.
Okay, swimmer.
That's
You couldn't catch a football.
That's not even.
No, you could not.
Okay, neither of those are related to swimming, so that was irrelevant, and that's base knowledge 101.
For somebody that played tight end, you really couldn't catch off the boat. I guess you were jumping
Says
off
the guy who
boat.
needed to be tethered to the boat.
I did that to be funny. I didn't need to be tethered. I was tethered for like 30 seconds.
We did tether. If you saw the Instagram post, we had a plastic Halloween skeleton.
Hey, he doesn't
with
like
us.
being called a skeleton.
Okay, I'm sorry, Steve.
There we go.
We named him Steve.
Steve Stickley.
Yeah, Steve Stickley.
Steve doesn't like being called a plastic skeleton.
I'm sorry.
That's what he is.
We put him in a life vest and we threw him in the lake a few times and we tethered him in. So
he went swimming.
Yeah, he went swimming. He had a great time.
You can see the picture of Casey swimming with a tree.
Yeah, he swam to to the shore, went up there, and just pulled a tree out of.
Grabs it and just yanks it out of the ground. Like it was nothing. It was just like he looked at it. I don't know if he was just drunk or what, but it was just like.
And he swam back with it.
Put it on a boat.
Yeah, he put it on the boat.
If Casey got drunk off of 3 beers, that's sad.
No, he wasn't drunk, but he was having a good time.
Oh yeah,
we had a good time. That was a nice boat. Thank you, Dan, for letting us go out on your boat.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Hope he has fun with the boat in his driveway.
Oh yeah,
big ass pontoon boat in his driveway. Yeah, that was a really cool episode we just got to do. It was really awesome that Rizz took his time to do that. Thank you so much, Mr. Rizzuto. Meant a lot to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, no huge guests coming up or anything. That was our big one for now. But we got some fun stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a good time coming up. Ben, you got anything going on?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
Not a thing. Emily, Headbangers?
Not happening this week.
That is true. We're off this week.
We are going to the MBA broadcaster Cardinals.
We might get to meet Jim Edmonds.
We might get to meet a lot of people there.
Yeah.
But we're going to that on Thursday, so neither of us will be on the radio that day.
Yeah, we're off that day. I'll be on KCLC 2 to 6 every Tuesday and 2 to 4 every Thursday. I have my rock and wrestling show.
After Jack.
I do have a new co-host.
You do?
I do have a new co-host. Emily's off the hook. She's still going to be around. She'll be on there occasionally.
I'll be in the room.
Ben will probably be in the room, too.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
If he's bored, he'll be in there.
I'm always bored after the gym.
Yeah, after about 2 o'clock.
I'm in the gym from like 2 to 3:30, and then I'm get bored.
Then you come by.
Yep.
So yeah, rock and wrestling is the new style. I mean, it's been on there. We did 1 week of it before, but week 2 of rock and wrestling will be next Thursday, followed by
Headbanger 7. I play metal, 80s, 90s, up to stuff that came out yesterday.
Play everything.
Yeah.
I was not in the room. You were in the room for my whole show, and I went and got dinner during your show.
Yeah. Hey,
You were probably happy that we were
No,
gone.
I like being in there by myself.
Yeah, so it's probably good we went and got
It's
dinner.
it's calming in there.
When we're not in there?
Yeah.
We're pretty quiet.
No, nothing against you. It's just I like my alone time.
Yeah.
At radio production, I would be in there for like 3 hours by myself.
Oh, really?
I
did
liked it.
2 hours of DJing for radio production.
2 hours?
Yeah. Maybe we get him on here again.
Ferrario? Or who?
Ferrario, David, somebody.
We can have...
David will be back.
Let's get every guest we've had on here multiple times.
We could do that.
Speaking of Casey, he just sent me something on Instagram. I'm not going to open that.
Yeah, we'll have some people coming on. We definitely got some people that want to come on, be the fourth. So we'll have some people soon. But yeah, other than that, not much going on. Thank you again to Rizz. Really meant a lot to us. She came on here. When we met him at Hot Shots, I told him about Learn being on the show and how amazing Learn is. Because Learn is amazing.
Yeah.
Learn, I've interviewed her twice now. She was incredible both times. She took, an hour and a half last time?
I think she said an hour and she stayed on longer.
Way longer.
Yeah.
We had to restart the call 2 or 3 times.
Uh-huh.
She was awesome. And I told Rizz how awesome he was. And I was going to ask, do you want to come on the show? And he was like, I would love to do it if you're interested. And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, when? I told him the times and he was like, okay. I was like, for you, we'll do it anytime. Because it's the #1 radio show host in St. Louis. Like, we couldn't pass
For
that
10 years.
For 10 years. So
it's a long time.
It was really cool. We got to talk to him today. If you guys can tell, we're very excited by it. We were looking forward to this for 2 weeks now. It was exciting. One of the cooler things we've gotten to do.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully we got some new listeners on this one. Hopefully you found us. If this is your first time, thank you for listening. If you're back, thanks for staying with us this whole time. You guys are the best. Have a good one, everybody.